Little box should have $200 worth of parts to get the mower back going again. Paper. Metric lock nuts. Oh, those are different. Oh, that's interesting. And yeah, that looks like 6 clutch discs. None of them are broken. So that's good. I'm just going to put it all back together. Before I dive into the Batwing, I do want to give the Woods mower a quick check over, because I know I'm not getting the Batwing back in action tonight, so while I'm here, at least I don't want this to break down. So I'll grease it and check the fluids. Good to see the jack up where it belongs and not down where it doesn't. Pin. We really need to push this pin all the way in. Because you don't want the grass to pull that pin out and then you bounce over something and lose this. It's happened on other equipment. Yeah, it happened on one of the old rotary mowers and a manure spreader. And what happens is, if you ride over a hump or something that pops the whole pin out and the equipment doesn't keep up with you anymore, the PTO shaft separates and spins around and wrecks this hydraulic line and possibly damages itself, and it's just a whole lot of badness. So push the pin all the way in so the grass can't pull it out. Otherwise, I don't see any obvious damage. I kind of wish it was parked inside, but it's not like it rains anymore anyway. I don't think this clutch is burned because it doesn't look cooked. And the paint, the marking paint that I put on it when I slipped them is not burned up, so that's good. Hopefully it's been run at a reasonable rate. So I'm going to grease it, check the gearboxes. Hopefully they're full of oil and not water, and then get back to the Batwing. While the drive shafts are disconnected, I don't like doing this, but it seemed like an opportunity to separate them and grease inside where they telescope. Fortunately, I didn't remember this. They don't have to come all the way apart, so it's kind of connected, but I can get to the sliding surface, which is good, because if they come all the way apart, they're really, really hard to get back together. So I can just smear a whole bunch of grease in there and slide them in and out a couple times, because now's the time, I guess. We got 2 of the 3 clutches back together. This one, the one that actually did not burn completely up, because there's all that material stuck to the bearing surfaces. I'm going to let that soak a little bit overnight, so hopefully I can clean it up a little bit better. I really don't want to use any kind of power tools cleaning it up, because I don't want to breathe the dust of whatever god-awful ACM nastiness those clutches are made out of. I made a slight alteration. So if you remember, this shaft would not telescope enough to let this come out as an assembly. It bottomed out on that U-joint right there. The shaft just could not go far enough that way to clear. So when I took it apart, I disassembled the clutch in place, which is not fun because it's, kind of stuck in there and you can't get to anything. I didn't want to have to reassemble it in place, so I cut just a little bit off the end of the shaft, and lo and behold, it fits now. And there shouldn't be any sliding in that shaft really, because the gearboxes are, bolted where they are. So minor modification that someday down the line may come in handy. And I guess tomorrow, hopefully I can get this cleaned up, back together, and then take it out for testing.